Alright, so in this video I'm going to be reviewing the new graphic t-shirt collaboration between Uniqlo and Haruki Murakami. These came out in about middle of March, and Uniqlo actually did an interview with Murakami that I thought was kind of interesting, and I'm going to put it in the description. Basically, they just talked about his thoughts about music, writing, his career, about new writing. I would definitely check that out. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The first shirt that we're going to be reviewing is my personal favorite, and actually one that I bought. Each of these shirts are about $15, which is pretty standard for Uniqlo. I thought this was a fair price because I really like the design. It's quite cute. You know, obviously you have Murakami here as a kitty staring out at you or at the abyss with those creepy green eyes. You've got a clock here. You've got some sort of orange beverage. You've got a nice antique desk lamp there, and presumably he's sitting down and writing out the first page of some manuscript. Although I don't really know why the text is being written starting from the right side, and it seems to go off at a sort of a weird diagonal angle, and also the writing doesn't fill up the entire width of the page, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. On the back of the shirt, you've got a nice quote from Murakami, presumably. I actually couldn't find this in his interview, but it says, "Books, musics, and cats have been my friends from way back. I like it. It flows." It's kind of a sad quote, but you know, that's Murakami for you. So overall, I like this shirt. This model kind of annoys me, but that's okay. All right, so this next one is also based off of Murakami's radio show. It's kind of not very creative though. It's just a black t-shirt with a disc on it that just says Murakami Radio. So the front, it's not really that interesting. And the back, unfortunately, is also not very interesting. It's just kind of a block of text. It says, "For me, the trick to writing a novel, or shall I say elements, is the same as music. First, there must be a rhythm. Then you need harmony and improvisation. These three elements are extremely crucial for me." I'm not sure where this is a quote from, but obviously it's getting at the fact that Murakami sees literature and music as kind of intertwined forms of art working towards the same goal. You know, I love that about Murakami and about his books, that he's always including references to music. This shirt, on the other hand, though, is kind of lackluster, and I wouldn't really give it more than a 2 out of 5. I guess if you're looking for a solid black t-shirt with a graphic on it, this is pretty good, but honestly, if it didn't say Murakami on it, you probably couldn't tell that this had anything to do with Haruki Murakami. All right, so the third shirt that we're looking at is really ugly. I just don't like the color of this one. Pastel blue, and then the graphic that they chose is from the cover of Pinball 1973, and it's brown, and I just don't think that those colors go very well together. So I would definitely pass on this design personally. But looking closer into the design, you know, it's from the book cover of Pinball. It says, "Just about anything looks better from a distance," which is kind of a cool quote. You've got presumably the narrator here smoking a cigarette, having a chat with the bartender, and maybe he's looking wistfully off at some love interest, or maybe he's just staring at this bottle of booze. And I just noticed this actually, that there's a little black cat here, which I think is a nice touch. This cover is not really my favorite, and I don't think it makes for a very good choice for a shirt front. On the back, kind of boring. It just says Pinball 1973 in tiny font with a couple of little stars. Yeah, so pretty basic. I don't really think much about this shirt. Again, probably a 2 out of 5 for me. I also like the fact that Uniqlo thinks that the target audience for these graphic tees are a bunch of skinny hipster white dudes. I guess that's a kind of an accurate description of the lip bro community. So maybe Uniqlo doesn't know more than it seems. All right, the next shirt that we're going to be looking at is another white tee. This time the main design is on the back, which I'm not a big fan of. Because basically, if you want someone to look at your graphic, they're going to have to be staring at your back. But I do kind of like it, though. It's from the cover of Sputnik Sweetheart, which is one of my favorite Murakami books. It's got a quote here saying, "Understanding is but the sum of our misunderstandings." That's very Murakami, and I like it. Again, you know, the font is really small. I don't like the fact that the design is on the back. If I'm going to buy a t-shirt for its cool design, I want the main design to be on the front, especially since the actual front of this shirt is just the name Sputnik Sweetheart in this really weird like word art Microsoft PowerPoint font. I'm not a big fan of. It kind of ruins the entire thing, to be honest. I'd give this shirt a solid 2 out of 5 for the effort, but it kind of looks like it was made in Microsoft PowerPoint. All right, so the next shirt I can already say is a 1 out of 5 just because of the color combination. It's some shade of green with bright red, and not gonna lie, I'm not an expert in color combinations, but that is really ugly. The shirt also has no design at all that references Norwegian wood. It's not even really a graphic tee because it has no graphics on it. It just has the text Norwegian wood on it. I also really don't like this model. He kind of kind of pisses me off. So yeah, solid 1 out of 5. This shirt is a complete ripoff, and I hope no one tries to purchase this shirt. All right, so the next shirt that we're looking at is based off of Kafka on the Shore. I'm not sure if this design of the bird is from maybe a Japanese edition of Kafka on the Shore, because I don't remember this from the North American version, or really there being a bird in Kafka on the Shore of any significance, but maybe I'm wrong about that, and maybe that's just me not remembering the text. Overall, I kind of like this design. I like that it's got Japanese text all over it. The text is kind of small though, so probably no one will be able to appreciate it unless they're staring at your chest. Overall, I like this. The only problem is that the design on the back is just the bird repeated again, but without the text, so it's kind of boring, a little bit lazy to be honest. I would have even preferred it if they had just the block of text in the back, just to give the shirt some sort of character. I'm also not really sure what this model is doing here. To be honest, it kind of ruins the vibe of the shirt for me. Overall, I think the shirt's okay, maybe like a 3 out of 5. I would think about purchasing this one just because I kind of like the color combination of the dark blue, navy blue, with the white of the bird and then the Japanese text. I think that's pretty cool. All right, so this next one is a doozy. It's apparently referencing 1Q84. Here you've got the 2 moons, and then you've got text reflected in a mirror. It says, "Don't let appearances fool you," which I think is fine. Although, to be honest, if no one told me that this was a Murakami shirt, I would have seen this and just been like, this is a really ugly shirt, and not have understood that this was a reference to 1Q84, especially when all they do on the back of this shirt is they just put 1Q84 Haruki Murakami. That is extremely boring, and to be honest, when I take a closer look at the front design, I really start to appreciate how ugly this is. Honestly, it's just 2 blurry pictures of moons. There's nothing really interesting or engaging or really that relevant to 1Q84 here, other than the fact that there are moons in the book. All right, so the last t-shirt that we're going to be looking at is another white t-shirt. And again, the main design is on the back of the shirt instead of the front. It's the book cover of Dance, 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 and then in super, super tiny font, they've got a quote here that says, "If you listen carefully, you can hear these things. If you look carefully, you'll see what you're after," which I think is fine, but honestly, no one's going to be able to see that quote unless they're literally bending down, staring at my back, squinting, trying to read it. So I'm not sure why they even bothered putting that quote there. Overall, I don't really like the cover of Dance, 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 especially this edition. I think the bright colors are kind of fun, but the design itself is kind of ugly and goofy. And to be honest, I never thought it really fit the vibe of the book. Although I do appreciate that with this shirt, they at least tried to do something new with the design where they have that little shirt pocket there, and on the shirt pocket, they've got, again, the same graphic from the book cover. I will say though, just from this picture on Uniqlo's website, it doesn't really look like that graphic is stitched on very well, or at least it's kind of blurry. I don't know. So overall, I think this shirt's kind of cool actually. A little bit ugly, but in kind of like a playful way, which I think some people might like. So, you know, if I was going to pick another shirt, I would consider this one too. All right, so that's it. That's all the shirts reviewed. Uniqlo does not sponsor me. However, if Uniqlo, you are watching this and you would like to sponsor me, that would not be the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Definitely comment and subscribe if you like videos like these. If you don't like videos like these, please let me know. It seems like this Booktube channel might just end up churning out Murakami videos or videos about Japanese literature and the graphic t-shirts that are inspired by that literature. And I think that's fine. If that's what people like, I'll keep doing that. Just let me know.